Well, hello, Stacey Murphy here with a quick video on composting. It is the morning. I love coming out here and turning the compost pile in the morning. While I was here, I thought I would shoot you guys a quick video. So one of the questions I get a lot, something that holds people back from doing what's called aerobic composting, which is what I'm doing here. This is with air, which is what aerobic means, is that there's two things that go into an aerobic compost bin typically, your food scraps or your yard scraps, and then something else called browns. And we'll talk about what those are in just a minute. And so sometimes people say, I don't have browns, so I can't do aerobic composting. So I want to share with you my secret weapon. So that's the first thing that I want to share with you in this video. And the thing I want to mention first is that why compost, right? So soil is the basis of life in your garden, and compost is what feeds your soil. It improves the biology of that soil. It helps retain water and moisture in the soil. It builds structure for all those roots. So doing composting is what allows you to have healthy soil, which then allows you to have healthy plants, which then in turn feeds all those amazing nutrients into your body. So the basis of our health is really here in this pile. So that's why this pile is so important. You probably already know that. That's why you're watching this, but I thought I would reiterate that. And if you haven't heard by now, and I'm sure you've heard from millions of other places, the upcoming Homegrown Food Summit with Marjorie Wildcraft, I'm going to be speaking about soil, and I would really love for you guys to join me there. So there's a link below this video where I'm going to talk all about how to build healthy soil and why soil is so important. So make sure you get yourself registered. It's going to be epic. There's like 38 speakers, 40 speakers. I can't even remember how many speakers. There's so many speakers, and you're just going to love it. It's going to be amazing. So sign up below. And let's talk about this question of composting. Okay, so we talked about aerobic composting being with air. The other thing that it is, it's basically two ingredients. And what I do, this is the way that I layer up my bin, is I generally put, oh, by the way, this is a pallet bin. So these are old wooden pallets. They're covered with some hardware cloth and some chicken wire in order to keep the materials from falling out of the bin. And then it's open front because I like easy in and out of the compost bin. Right now the lid is off because it's summertime and it's hotter temperatures here and not as much rainfall. So I'm not worried about a lot of moisture coming in from the top. So right now it's just an open air pile kind of shoved up in a corner. But in the wintertime, I definitely put a layer over the top to keep the rains out because it's just too much moisture. Okay, so that's the bin. And then the way that I layer this is I put in a thin layer of finished compost at the bottom, which helps kickstart all the biology. And then I basically layer in 6 inches of food scraps, which is about this big. And then I put 12 inches of browns. What do I use? I mentioned that I have a secret weapon. All right, you guys ready? Maybe you already know this about me. This is my secret weapon. It's so awesome. So here it is. It smells delicious. Do you know what this is? This is coffee chaff. This is what happens when they roast coffee beans and the chaff, the skin, the outer skin pops off and it becomes this lightweight brown material, very dry, very lightweight. You can see it. Look at that. Very lightweight. Smells delicious. It smells like coffee. And this is my brown, and it's abundant in cities. It's not so abundant in urban areas, sorry to say. So if you live in a city and there's no trees, this is a great brown instead of leaves. If you live in a place where there's palm trees like I am now, oftentimes you don't get a lot of matter coming off of those trees that you can use into your compost bin, and so this is really useful. Now the other benefit is it's so lightweight. So check this out. This is a giant bag. Oy! Look at that. It's not even very heavy. It's like a couple pounds. It's just a little awkward because I'm lifting it up from the side and it's round. So I can throw like 4 of these in my car in like 3 seconds from the coffee roaster and take off, and it's super easy. And they love it because they were just going to throw it out anyway. So you're helping to recycle all of those things back into the food supply, right? So that's all the benefits of the coffee chaff. And in my household, I have 11 people. Sometimes when we're heavily cooking, all of us, I use about 4 bags per month. When we're doing a little less cooking, I use about 2 bags per month. So that's about how much you need in order to compost everything for the month. And so basically I layer my 6 inches of food scraps, 12 inches of this stuff, 6 inches of food scraps, 12 inches of this stuff, layer it up, and basically top it with these browns in order to keep the nitrogen in place. So that's my simple recipe, and then I basically turn it every couple days. And like I mentioned earlier, it's my workout. I take about 8 minutes to turn my compost pile. It's pretty fast. And then after a month of turning it every couple of days, it's really broken down. So let's take a look at this pile real quick and see what we got in there. So I'm gonna bring the camera. This has been about a month, and let's see. So I'm going to grab a handful just to see what's in here. So right now it's pretty carbolicious. So it's got a little bit too many browns actually, and it's not fully decomposed. So it's pretty far along. But let's dig in there a little bit. Digging. So it's pretty broken down, but it's still, I think it has a little bit too much carbon. It's a little bit too dry. So I might add a little bit of food scraps in order to make it a little bit more wet and break it down the rest of the way. All right, so that's all I really wanted to share with you today. So this, this coffee chaff it works magic, I have to say, for places where you don't have access to browns. And all you really need to do is call up your coffee roaster and ask them how many bags they produce, if what they do with it, because sometimes other people are coming to pick it up, and ask them, if they'll just set some aside and you just go and pick it up. It's super easy. All right, there you have it. So go grab your browns if you don't have them. And aerobic composting is super easy if you just layer it up and turn it every couple days. It's a great workout. I personally love it. And below this video, what I would love for you to share is if you have other ideas for browns that people may not have thought of, please post them below so people can get their composting going. All right, I'll see you on the next video.